Hello everybody and welcome back to another Blender Made Easy tutorial. Today we're going to be creating a foggy mirror effect with some text appearing on the glass. To achieve this, we're going to be using nodes to create the fog and dynamic paint for the animation of the text. To get started, we're going to go ahead and delete the default cube and then press Shift A. We will add in a plane. Rotate this plane 90 degrees along the x-axis, and here is going to be our object for the whole animation. I'm not going to show you how to create the whole bathroom scene as you saw at the beginning of the video, because that would be a whole tutorial in itself. The first thing that we will do is split this view and create the material for the fog. So I'll go over to the shader editor and then press N to close off that panel and give it a new material. To create this effect, we're first going to use a Verani texture, so press Shift A, add in texture and Verani texture. To see what we're doing a little bit more clearly, go ahead and enable the Node Wrangler add-on in the preferences. So underneath preferences, make sure you go to add-ons, type in the word node, and you should see the Node Wrangler add-on. Make sure that is turned on, and then you can exit out. To use this add-on, if you hold Control, Shift, and left click on a node, it will bring in a viewer node plugged into the surface. Now if we go into Material View, we can see exactly what this Verani texture is doing. What we want is a big circle in the middle expanding outwards. So to fix this, we need to set this over to 2D, and then bring the randomness all the way down to 0 so we have a grid pattern. Then the scale, we'll drag this all the way down to a value of about 0.6. We can see this is working. We have a big circle, but it's currently in the wrong position. To move this, you can press Ctrl T with the Verani texture selected, and it will take in a texture coordinate node and a mapping node. Now we can move the location of this circle and bring it into the middle. So if I drag the X over a little bit, and then I drag the Y to the negative value, we can now see we have a circle in the right position. But right now it's currently inverted. We want the white to be in the middle and the black to be on the outside. So to invert this, we can press Shift A and add in a converter and a color ramp and place that right here between the Verani and the principled shader. Then to flip the direction, just click on this arrow here and click on Flip Color Ramp. Now if we drag the black over, we now have a perfect circle just like that. Currently though, it is a perfect circle and that does not look very realistic. We want to give it some imperfection, so to do this we'll be adding in a noise texture. Press Shift A, add in a texture and a noise and place that right here. We're going to take the generated coordinates from the texture coordinate node and plug that into the vector. Basically what we're doing is adding in some noise to the Verani texture. Press Shift A, add in a color and a mix RGB. We'll place that here. Then take the factor input from the noise and plug that into the top input of the mix RGB. And now this factor value controls how much noise will be in the texture. All the way up to 1 equals no noise. And if we bring it down a little bit, we now have some noise in the circle and it looks a lot better. I'm going to set this factor value to a value of about 0.8, and here we can see what it looks like, and I think it looks pretty good. Jumping back over to the color ramp, we can set this from linear over to ease, and this will just give us a better transition between the white and the black. And now if we move this position value, you will see the effect that it's doing. And now all we need to do is take the color and plug this into the roughness of the principled shader, Control Shift left click on this, and we can see nothing is showing up. So here is where we decide if we want a mirror material or a glass material. If you want a mirror, turn the metallic all the way up to 1, and you can see this is working. If you want a glass material, turn the transmission all the way up to 1. I think I'm going to go with a transmission material. Another thing to keep in mind is that this color ramp, the black value is 0 roughness and the white value is full 1 roughness. Now with a foggy material, the fog doesn't really have 100% roughness. There is a little bit of transparency. So to do this, we're just going to select the white color and bring it down just slightly till we get a value of about 0.8 or so. And we can see here it does have a little bit of transparency now. And now let's go ahead and animate this fog effect. So to do this, we're going to select the black handle in the color ramp and bring it all the way to the left until it's really close and you can't see any roughness in the glass. Then for the position value, just hit I while hovering over it. Then we will go to frame 60, drag this up a little bit till we get a little bit of roughness. Right about there looks pretty good or so, and then I will hover over the position and hit I one more time. So now if we restart this animation and play it, we can see this is what it's doing. Pretty cool, and now we have some roughness in our material. And one thing to note, that this tutorial does not really work well with Eevee. You are going to want to be in cycles, because to create a mirror material you have to use a reflection plane, and it doesn't work that well. So make sure you are in cycles for creating this effect. And now that we've created the material, let's create the text animation. Here we are in a new collection, and I'm going to press Shift A and add in a new plane. We'll rotate this plane 90 degrees along the x-axis, and this is going to be our canvas for the dynamic paint. Go into front view and then press Shift A. We will add in the text. Rotate this text 90 degrees and then go into edit mode and type in whatever you want. I think I'm just going to go with the word hello, and I'll scale it down and place it in the middle of our canvas, right about there. And so now what we need to do is create an outline for an object to follow the text and paint on the canvas. To do this, press Shift A. We will add in another plane. Go into edit mode, and we're going to collapse every single vertex into one. To do this, press Alt and M and then click on at center. So now we have a single vertex where we can place and start tracing out the text. Go back into front view and go into wireframe and then press G to move, and we'll place it at the top of the H. Now all we need to do is start extruding and tracing out the text. Before we do that though, let's go into side view and move this over by 1/10 of a grid unit, as you can see this line right here. The reason we're doing this is because I want the UV sphere to start here and then go into the plane and then trace out the text. So make sure it's out a little bit. Hit E to extrude, holding control, I'm going to snap it back to the center right here next to the plane. Now we can go back into front view and then hit E to extrude again and drag it down. And now if we were to extrude it out this way and drag it down like this, we would also have a line going across this way, and that's not what we want. We want it to jump from here over to this position. So to do that, I'm going to go into side view once again, E to extrude, extrude it outwards, go back into front view, extrude it up this way, go into side view, extrude it back into the plane, and then continue on, and you get the idea. So basically that's what we need to do for all of the different jumps. And if you are confused on where you should place the vertices, just go ahead, grab a piece of paper and write it out manually. This will give you an idea of where you should place the vertices and which direction they should be going in. So now I'm going to fast forward this part and finish out the rest of the text. And now to convert this over to a curve, what you can do is go over to Object, down to Convert to, and then click on Curve from Mesh/Text. Once we do that, if we go into edit mode, we now have a curve instead of a mesh. Now let's go ahead and add in a UV sphere and scale this UV sphere down, and this is going to be the object that follows this path. Now instead of using the curve modifier, because I did have some problems with that, we're going to use a constraint and have this object follow this path. Go over to the Constraints tab, click on Add Constraint, and Follow Path. The target is going to be the curve that we just created, and then click on Animate Path. If we play our animation now, you will see this is what it looks like. Currently though, it starts at frame 1. We don't want it to start there, we want it to start at frame 60, because that is when the frost effect fully goes out. So for the offset, set this value to 60. Now if we go before 60 and play it, now we can see it starts at frame 60 and then goes on. Pretty cool, and I think that is a pretty decent speed. If you want it to be slower or faster, go over to the curve settings. Underneath the path animation, the frame number here controls how long it will last for. You set it further, it'll go slower. If you set it less than 100, it'll go faster. Now let's create the dynamic paint. So I'm going to select my canvas, go over to the Physics tab, and click on Dynamic Paint. Make sure the type is set to Canvas and go Add Canvas. Then select your brush. In this case, it's going to be the UV sphere. Click on Dynamic Paint, set the type over to Brush, and click on Add Brush. We want the paint color to be white, so select the color, set the saturation all the way to 0 and the value all the way up to 1. Then select your canvas once again. Underneath the format, we're going to select image sequence. The resolution right here determines how big the images are going to be. We are going to want to set this pretty high at around 2000. The frame start and the frame end, we can see our animation ends at frame 160. So I'm going to want around 20 frames extra. So I'm going to go with a value of 180. Since our object is moving pretty fast through our animation, we are going to want to turn the substeps up to a value of 10. For the initial color, we're going to open up that and set this over to color. And for the canvas, we're going to set it all the way to black. So basically what's going to happen is the brush is going to paint white on a black canvas. Then we can use that data in the material as a mask. In the output section, select a folder of where you want your images to go to. And then for the UV map, select the UV map that was automatically created when you added the plane. And then turn off pre-multiply alpha because we do not want any alpha channels. And now all we need to do is click on bake image sequence and we can see it's starting to bake down here. The bake is done. Now if we open up that folder, we can see all of our images are right here. Now let's go ahead and import that into the material. Go over to collection 1 by hitting 1 on the top of your keyboard, select your plane, and then open up the node editor. To add them in, press Shift A and go over to texture and image sequence. Navigate to where your images are. Once you have found them, press A to select everything and go import image sequence. We'll place that above the color ramp. Now what we need to do is press Shift A and add in a color mix RGB. We'll place that in between the color ramp and the principled shader. Then take the color and plug that into the factor. Now, since we added in the text to be white, wherever there is white is going to be this color. And since we plugged it into the roughness is going to be pretty rough with it set to a high value. We want there to be no roughness, so we're going to bring this all the way down to black. To see this in action, we can press Z and go into Material View. And then if we turn on Auto Refresh, restart the animation and play this, we can see it working. It's spreading out the frosted, and then we can see the animation is coming in. And now the cool thing about using an image sequence is you can place the text wherever you want. If we switch this over to the UV image editor, go into edit mode, we can see here is our UV map. If we select everything and G to move, we can place the text anywhere on the mesh. We can rotate it around, do whatever we want, and we can create something really cool. So now all you have to do is create a cool scene around this effect and you will have a pretty spooky animation. So there you go, that is how you create a foggy mirror text animation. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you made it all the way to the end and created something cool, I would love to see it, so make sure to send it to me. If you're new to the channel, make sure you click subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.